Starting from the number 5 position and searching for his first career PBA title is 30-year-old Dave Traber of Woodstock, Illinois. His opponent in tonight's opening match, the 1989 PBA Rookie of the Year, Steve Hoskins. Making his first ever appearance in a PBA National Tour event, Brian Davis will test his talents for the very first time in championship round play. Meanwhile, defending champion Bob Vespi is back and looking to make it 2 in a row here in Mechanicsburg. And the tour's hottest player, Walter Ray Williams Jr., who tossed a record 4 perfect games this week, will be shooting for his 2nd straight title and his 7th win of the 1993 campaign. Good evening and welcome to ABC West Lanes, located in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Hi, everybody. I'm Denny Schreiner, along with PBA Hall of Famer Mike Durbin. And, Mike, we're located in Mechanicsburg, which is right across the street from Harrisburg, which is right down the road from Gettysburg. But this week it is Strikesburg. 2,300 games, a record 2,300. Most cities don't have 2,300 games in an entire season.
Well, like you say, Dan, it is a PBA record. There was another PBA record set this week. Our tournament leader, Walter Ray Williams Jr., who else, had 4 300, breaking the record of 3 set by a number of different individuals. He's trying for his 7th victory tonight, which would put him within 1 of another PBA record, 8 for Mark Roth back in 1978.
Last year, Bob Vespi won the tournament here by shooting .279. He has qualified second, and he's trying to do something that's very difficult to accomplish on the national tour. That's come back and successfully defend.
He's got a good chance, though, Dan, but he's not had as good a year this year as he did last. He hasn't won since he won right here a year ago. Last year, he made about $136,000. This year, it's under $50,000. With 20 more added to it tonight would make it a decent year.
All right, Michael, our top 5 averaged 230 plus on this pair of lanes. We could see some fireworks tonight. We're ready for the start of match number 1, featuring the 1989 PBA Rookie of the Year, Steve Hoskins, and a man looking for his first title, Dave Traber. All right, championship round pair, 33 and 34 strikes aplenty this week. Mike, I know you bowled on the tour a lot of years, but 2,300 games in a single tournament?
Yeah, I think the most I ever had was back in South Bend back in 1971. I think we had 11 or 12.
That's when Barry Asher set all the scoring records.
Right. Got a real contrast in styles here, with Hoskins being the power player, circling the ball out to the channel and back, and having it roll out like that one did right at the pocket and still destroy the 5. And Dave Traber will be moving over to the right and throwing bullets right up the channel.
Hoskins averaged 248.5 on this pair of lanes. Dave Traber, a mere 232.7.
Our tournament leader, though, only averaged 219 on this pair, so
somehow I'd be willing to bet that Walter Ray will shoot better than 219 tonight in the title game.
What gives you your first clue on that?
Yeah. Traber up and at him, so 2 contrasting shots, but 2 strikes.
Dave Traber is a very conventional player. Holds the ball right there. Pushes. Now it's kind of late in the timing. Now as he gets the next to the last step, we can see the ball right up here. Here's his pivot step, right, ready to go. He'll push through with a slide. Very little knee bend. A little bit of bend at the waist. Not exactly the way I would teach it, but he gets the job done.
Too far right. Averts the washout, but is left with the 1-2-8.
See, he knows for him lane 33 is much tighter. So he's trying, what he's thinking in his mind, then, is he wants to keep his speed throttled down on lane 33, because his tendency under pressure is to throw it harder. See, watch this. He's trying to hit about the 3rd board and got it out almost to the 1st. He's fortunate he didn't have a washout. Makes the 1-2-8 easily, but that's not what he wanted. He wanted to get off with that quick double.
Dave won all 8 matches in round number 5, which would be the 2nd round of match play to help catapult him into the top 5 position.
His first round of match play, he won 7 and tied 1, and would have won the 8th game if he'd got 8 on the last ball. He got 7 for the tie.
I think he won the first 2 of the 6th round, so that would have been 18 games in a row. Meanwhile, he's in trouble here to start match number 1.
Oh, dang, it's just a double. There are a lot of strikes thrown tonight. We can see, here's the 12-foot line right here. He's in front of that, taking 5 steps, holds the ball very low. Now watch pulls that ball up in the push away. Watch how high that backswing gets, way up here, and he's coming down. There he goes. The crank power torque shot.
That rocking motion reminds you a lot of a PBA Hall of Famer, Wayne Webb.
Yes, it does. Hooks it more than Wayne, though.
Both players very powerfully built. And Hoskins starts with a 3-bagger.
180, huh, for David. 6 feet. Just turned the magic age of 30.
National titles. He did win the National Resident Pro Championship, but that does not count as a PBA national title. Has already captured 9 regional events.
Yeah, shows you what kind of player he is.
Very solid. Fits this one up into the pocket. 34 obviously is a very good lane. Let's see what kind of an adjustment he makes on the left-hand lane.
Just has to hit what he's looking at, and he's looking at about the 3rd board right now. Believe me, what he's thinking in his mind now is, Dave, just keep the speed down, make a nice stroke, and go right over the target.
Ahead of last year's, well, not quite ahead of last year's pace, but will be, especially if he wins here tonight.
Yeah, you could really pick it up with a little check of 20,000 added to it, right?
I think he'd take the victory over the money anytime. Well, the classic over adjustment.
And you just see him kind of just steer that speed and that arm swing toward the target. He aimed that shot all the way, and that's all in the mind right now. He's trying to fit it in there on that lane 33. The lane is scoreable. I watched him in practice, you know, when he was relaxed and he threw shot after shot after shot in the 1-3 pocket. Trouble. Oh, got it.
Just enough to take care of the 3-6. So an early lead for Steve Hoskins as he starts with the first 3 and is ahead by 20 pins.
Dear Midas, after getting an outrageous estimate at my dealer, I came back to your shop. Your mechanics,
John, Jim, Ron, Robert,
gave me a free estimate, stayed late to finish the job, and even pointed out that my brake pads were under warranty, saving me a lot. I was so thankful for not being taken advantage of. I bought them all lunch the next day. Thank you, Sarah Acco.
we're gonna have to bail. What about the Bud Light? No time. There's only one left. You take it. I'll never forget you.
If you want great taste that will fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
It's all mine.
Quick look at Steve Hoskins at 5'5", 150 pounds.
I got to question that, Dennis.
Yes. Oh, you do?
150 pounds. Steve looks a little bit heavier than that to me.
All right. Trying to make it 4 in a row. And a beautiful shot coming out of the commercial break.
Well, are we already thinking of 21 here, Den? 4 in a row. Seems to me with as many as they had this week, he averaged 248 on this pair. He obviously likes it. Although everybody told me that they're tighter tonight.
Across the board?
Yeah.
Out of Tarpon Springs, Florida, former PBA Rookie of the Year. 5-3 in championship round play with a 216 average.
Here it comes.
And there it goes.
Right. Now that was the head pin that came flying across there, and all the crankers, the big hook players like Vespi and Hoskins, told me that that head pin was going in front of the 10 all week long. The messengers never delivered the message.
I wonder if that's because they hit the wall, the left wall, too fast.
So fast,
Yeah,
and sent it
probably.
back. Watch the head pin, Den. It goes flying to the left sideboard. Comes off there like a bullet. Hit something. It looked like it hit another pin, and that pin knocked it out in front of the 10.
Mm-hmm. Usually that messenger is fairly reliable. About half the time?
Yeah, I would say.
We get the 10? Sure. Traber trying to send a message of his own that he's still in the match. And as I say that, he leaves a solid 9 pin on his favorite lane.
Yep. Melissa, looking on. She's been through this before. This is his 9th appearance in the championship round. He still has 0 titles, although he's won 6 games. His record is 6-8.
Yeah, with a 219 plus average, so he's bowled reasonably well in the championship round. He's just run into people and bowled a little better.
Well, as of right now, he's trailing by 30 pins. Halfway through the game, he's looking still for his first double. See if he relaxes now in this left lane and makes a quality shot now that he's not on a strike. The first double is always the toughest one to get.
Brian Davis bowling in his first ever PBA national event is qualified number 3. You'll get a good look at this talented youngster. Coming up next. Oh, nice shot by Traber, who bounced back and had a couple of words of advice for lane 33.
Well, it's more to himself. I think he gave himself a pep talk there. He's saying, I can't hit you, you miserable 33. But see, he just relaxed here, right over about the 3rd board. Ball just finished flush in the 1-3 pocket. Maybe that'll get something started for Mr. Traber.
Hoskins with a 30-pin advantage in the 6th frame.
Wheels it out. Ooh, that one rolled out, and before it got to the 1-3 and left the 2-5. Now, if there's a chink in the armor of Steve Hoskins, it's spare shooting. He's struggled with spares in the past. Let's see how he plays this, whether he tries to throw a hook at it or throws it hard and straight.
Certainly took a lot less time, but he goes with the hook shot.
They rolled it out right at the 2-5.
That really is just personal preference, isn't it?
Most of the players nowadays are going with the hard and straight. But like you say, it is personal preference.
A rarity, a player in the top 5 that didn't have a 300 game. Brian Davis had 2. Walter Ray had a couple. Vespi had 1.
Walter Ray had 4.
Oh, that's what am I thinking? Sure. I was thinking he used 2 different balls. He threw 2 with one ball and 2 with another ball.
Right.
All right, Hoskins with the early lead. When we come back, we'll find out if Dave Traber can double up and cut into this lead. From ABC West Lanes in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
A few good reasons to watch a few good men.
Colonel Jackson, D2 order to Code Red.
Tom Cruise.
We live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns.
Jack Nicholson.
If you walk away from this now, you've sealed their fate.
Demi Moore. One more good reason. A Few Good Men is on pay-per-view. One great cast, one powerful movie. Order it on pay-per-view.
Hi, I'm... The first of the 94 models have arrived here at Kelly Cadillac. So it's the best time to save on closeout 93s. Rebates, incentives, special package discounts, up to $7,000 in total savings. $4,490 savings on spring edition DeVilles. $2,000 rebates on Fleetwoods. $2,000 dealer cash on Eldorados. Also closeout prices on Elantes. And a great selection of Sevilles and STSs at Central Pennsylvania's luxury car headquarters in Lancaster. Kelly Cadillac, changing the way you think about American automobiles.
The championship round finals of the Greater Harrisburg Open are being brought to you by Midas, the Midas way, the way it should be. And by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. Dave Traber on a strike, down by 28, needs this one to get back into the match.
Well, Ron Hoskins went through this, or Steve Hoskins rather, before trying to get his first victory before he got it this year. So
always trying to break through.
Yeah, that's process. Ooh, nice break there. 10 pin a little bit late falling, but it did get over.
Right here, cuts it to 8.
Big shot right here. Let's see what hits the 10 pin here, Dan. It's just always amazes me on these kind of can opener shots of what hits the 10. Looked like it was almost a 9 pin.
I think it was. 9 pin brushed it. You'd like to see the same result here on lane 33. Fitted it in very nicely the last time around. Good shot.
Oh, it's there. It's all in the execution.
Which is probably what he's telling himself.
Right. I'm sure that's what he's telling himself. Let's see how Steve responds to that now. He's had the challenge thrown at him, but he's working on a strike, and the best way, you know, is to respond with a strike of your own.
Having his best year ever in terms of earnings on the PBA Tour. Got a handful on that shot. Oh, what a powerful ball on 34.
That hand rolled right through that ball, just wrist and probably put me in the hospital, throw a ball like that.
Possible 267.
Possible 249 for Mr. Traber, so it's still up for grabs. 18 pins the difference. Pivotal 9th frame right here.
Trying to load it up. Oh, looked like it was gone for lost, and all of a sudden it made a left-hand turn, and I think even Hoskins was surprised.
And it almost went too high, Dan, because he tripped the floor. Look at how far left he is, how high that backswing is, and it goes so far right. Now that he makes that left turn, watch the 2-pin. Comes off the wall and gets the 4 with the neck of it. David has to strike right here, knock it back to 18 pins. Has to strike.
Up and at him. Perfect. Excellent shot by Traber, who is really feeling the heat right now.
Well, he's got the opportunity to finish this out and make Steve strike to win this match. So right now, it's who can perform in the 10th frame. 18 pins down. In order to have any chance, he's got to have this one then. This gets it under 10 pins.
Perfect. Well, you don't win 18 out of 24 match games if you don't perform in the 10th frame.
Well, this is a big shot, though, because this gives him the lead for the first time in the match.
A real psychological boost if he can throw a strike here.
Oh, yeah. Puts him in the 240 bracket.
Speed. Oh, dandy shot. What a finish for Dave Traber. One more, and it's a game of 249, and he'd really be disappointed if that wasn't enough to win.
Well, right now what he's thinking, though, is he needs 8 or better to make Hoskins strike. And again, he's thinking in his mind, now just keep the speed normal, because, again, his tendency under pressure is to throw it harder.
Perfect. Great finish. From the 6th frame all the way through the final shot. Nothing but strikes for Dave Traber. Now all he can do is sit and wait to see what Steve Hoskins does.
Right. Out of his hands.
Helpless feeling.
Yep. He's not even watching. Solid 8, unbelievable. He couldn't have thrown it any better.
That will absolutely rip your heart out if you're on the national tour.
Watch this as it hits the pins. I mean, you talk about a handful, Dan. That ball just finished flush. What some say is the only true tap in bowling, which I never have believed, but it definitely was a tap.
Steve Hoskins can only talk to himself after a perfect pressure shot on lane 34. All he's thinking about is, hey, I'm on to the next game. And with a strike here, would shoot 246
and lose
by 3. Oh, Steve Hoskins has to be as disappointed as a player can be out here. Great opening match. Traber coming from behind to win 249 to 246. When we come back, Mike Durbin's average builder.
You protect yourself inside your car. Protect yourself under the hood, too.
Walmart helps you take care of your car and your budget.
Haviland Formula 3 provides complete engine protection. Or try Haviland Synthetic Motor Oil for better protection for the long run. Either way, you add more life to your car.
And because we always sell for less, Walmart's better protection, too.
Like a seatbelt for your wallet. Walmart. Always the low price. Always.
Athlete's Foot. Every year, over 28 million Americans get it. Try NP27. Its doctor-recommended ingredient stops burning and itching fast. NP27. Nothing's a better cure for Athlete's Foot.
Some things you don't want to paint every year. That's why Super Paint with a 20-year warranty is on sale now at Sherwin-Williams Super Sale-a-thon. It ends August 28th, so hurry. Like I said, there are some things you don't want to paint every year.
My ultimate ESPN Sports Center highlight would go something like this. I'm on third. And on the first pitch, I go. I'm stealing home. Everyone's going crazy. My manager, the fans, Dan Patrick. But I'm stealing home. I'm in there. And somewhere in Philly, my grandma has one of her spells. Yeah, that's my Sports Center highlight.
College football fans, ABC Sports and ESPN pay-per-view have your season ticket to the best and most gridiron action. College football pay-per-view. In addition to the games on ESPN and your ABC station, get regional games that you otherwise couldn't see locally from the nation's top teams and conferences. Act now and you can order at the lowest price of the season. Call your cable company today.
For this week's Average Builder, I thought I'd like to compare the contemporary power style of today with the more straighter, conventional style of some years past. And the bowler that we're going to use to represent the contemporary today style is the PBA's Iron Man, Harry Sullins, who after this tournament is breaking his streak of 239 consecutive tournaments. We're going to compare his power style with my style that's more conventional and straighter. Now, earlier, both of us threw a shot. Let's take a look at them and analyze them step by step. We're both four-step players. I'm holding the ball waist high while Harry has it up by his chin. Now, as we start into the approach, I push and step at the same time. So in step number one, there's where it is with my ball, where Harry really hasn't moved the ball at all, yet he's moved his right foot. Now, as we go into step number two, take a look at where the ball is. With me, it's getting down beside my right knee. With Harry, it's basically where mine was in the first step, and this will be illustrated even more as we hit step three. When we get into step three, my ball has reached the peak of my backswing, which is shoulder high. Harry's ball is still going up. He's about halfway up his waist, and he's still going up. His timing is much later at this point. It takes a lot of strength to do that. Now, as we start the slide, we can see Harry's up at the peak. He's pulling the ball through, and I let go of the ball much earlier than he does, and he has a lot more power and wrist. You also saw how his foot shot way over here to the right, while my right foot stayed basically behind. Two different styles. I think the important thing to remember is they both work. We're both PBA champions. We both made money on the PBA Tour. What you need to do is pick the style that's best for you. Next week, we're going to Homestead, Florida. We'll have another Average Builder, and it'll deal with targeting. We'll see you then.
David Traber was right on target in the 10th as he defeated Steve Hoskins, his next opponent, Brian Davis, making his first ever appearance in championship round play.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
Start! Collecting! McDonald's! NFL kickoff payoff boys!
Look for your kickoff payoff gain piece on these special packages at McDonald's. Pull the tab to see how many points you've scored.
Wow!
Collect your points for great prizes. Get a free sheet of NFL player trading cards. Each sheet is only 10 points at McDonald's. Collect them all. So pull your kickoff payoff tab today.
What you want is what you get.
Play NFL kickoff payoff.
At McDonald's today!
All right, what is the best day of your life?
7 years old, and my dad takes me to Yankee Stadium. My first game. Sat there the whole game next to my dad. Taught me how to keep score. Mickey hit one out. Good day. And I still have the program.
When I was about 18 and my dad and I couldn't communicate about anything at all, we could still talk about baseball. No, that was real.
Record crowds all week long here in Mechanicsburg. 300 games were as easy as ABC West Lanes.
Yeah, we certainly were. And we still have 6 more games to go tonight. It could happen here yet.
I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to jinx this. We've already had one this year on the senior tour, Ron Winger. National Tours had one with Mike Albee. Traber loose after an opening game victory and a long stare at lane 33. What a match. 249-246. Steve Hoskins deserved a much better fate.
8 strikes by Hoskins, and Traber, I think he wound up with 8 also.
Yeah.
9. He wound up at 9.
Finished with a 7-bagger and had a double. First shot runs high. One would suspect that the nerves are probably a bit on edge. 3-6-10 in the opening offering.
Cool young player, only 21 years old. Bowling in his first PBA event. Has made the championship round.
Just for the fun of it, a little trivia question for all of our bowling fans from coast to coast. There were 2 other players in PBA history that qualified for the telecast in their first ever events on the national tour. We'll give you a couple of frames and then we'll give you the answers.
Take a look at his style. Feet all the way at the back of the approach here. Holds the ball waist high. 5-step player. Head very steady. Pretty conventional. Watch him. He kind of creeps up on there. A low backswing, and see where the ball is down here. He's ready to go into the pivot step. Nice long slide. Rolls that wrist through. Pretty good balance at the end.
Leaves the 10-pin on lane 33. All this youngster did last night was shoot back-to-back 300 games, and at one point in time threw 30 consecutive strikes.
Was really intimidated by the moment, wasn't he?
A trim 160.
21 years.
A talented player. Likes to open up a lane.
Practiced a lot of 10-pins in practice because he had trouble making it. So I missed it twice.
How many could he have left this week?
I don't know. You got to think that the advantage in this match is with Traber. And what David knows that too. He knows he's got the experience and everything else, and he wants to get out, get ahead of this kid right away. On his good lane, 34.
Nice start.
Took advantage of it, didn't he? I mean, he wants to come right back now and get the next one.
Methodically marching to what he hopes will be his first PBA National Tour title. But not long enough to accomplish that feat.
Well, he knows what it's like to win 9 regional titles. His brother, Dale, by the way, has won, I think he won 3 regional titles in a row and finished second in the 4th one.
Just a question now of bumping it up a notch and playing on the national tour.
That's right. Ooh, good shot. Lays the 4-pin.
You bowled a number of regionals, Mike, through the years. There are several thousand outstanding local professionals, regional players. It's not easy to go out and win the regionals, but in many cases, when the national tour isn't on, a lot of the touring players are entered in those events as well.
Certainly. The competition is good on those, and these guys are quality players in the regional program. A lot of them start out there. It's a training ground for the national tour. That's the idea behind it. And it's also an opportunity, though, for the guy, the local pro that wants to stay at home, that he can bowl on the weekends and still keep the job and the family. Have his cake, eat it too.
From Castleberry, Florida, young Brian Davis looking for his first strike here in the championship round. Have a feeling it may come right on this shot. Ooh, look at that 10-pin. Wiggle, wiggle, but not go down.
And getting the bad breaks right away. Back-to-back 10 pins.
Get him out of the way early.
Well, as soon as he gets that first strike and double and everything, it may really loosen him up, and that talent will come flowing out. Shaking the head, though, already before he's shooting the 10-pin.
Won all 8 matches last night. Thumps it and misses it, and I think you might be right. You read the body English all the way. Had a chance to talk to him just prior to the telecast and asked him about his thoughts concerning qualifying for the championship round for the first time in his career.
Oh, of course, I'm very surprised. This is my first tournament ever, like you said, and I just came out here to try to contend with these guys, and luck's been with me all week, and I'm just going to try to keep it going today. I've been very surprised all week, and it's gone so fast. It's almost gone.
That's what he wanted after missing the 10, a strike in the 4th, trying to right the ship a little bit as Traber jumps up.
He's very poised, though. You notice, you know, even though he did shake the head before he shot the 10-pin, his other demeanor and body English seems to exude confidence.
Can't tell you how impressed I was earlier this week in the National Amateur Finals at Stonehenge Place, where they crowned the National Amateur Champions this year with the play of Robert Smith and Liz Johnson. Just 2 outstanding young players, Mike, who just went about their business as if they'd been on the tour for 15 years. Younger players are just getting better and better.
Ooh, boy.
Forced that one in, almost left the 9. Ah, you see that tie? That's the tie that I had on tonight. Now, I was talking about the National Amateur Championships, right? There's a man that dresses as well as anybody I've ever seen, the brand new ABC president, Ted Malonis, right? So I introduced Ted several times during the week at the dinners and all the functions, and every time I introduced him, I talked about what beautiful ties he was wearing. So at the final dinner, he came up, gave me that tie with, of course, the Nebraska pin. He is from Omaha, Nebraska, the home of the College World Series on ESPN. So, Ted, thanks for the tie, and I want to start to talk to you about a new automobile somewhere down the line. Well,
you notice he has good cars, too,
yes,
is that it?
Well, anyway, thanks, Ted, for the tie.
All right. 5th frame, 21 pins. Traber looking to get a strike up there.
Well, that ball seemed to hang a little bit.
Again, the speed. He picks up that speed a mile or 2 per hour, and it doesn't make it up the hill.
Did it look like he got that ball a little inside of his target or no?
Hard to tell from this angle, Dan. I mean, it looked close to his target. It just looked a little firmer to me. At the 2-4, changes balls, no trouble. But with a couple strikes, Mr. Davis can get right back in this match.
Solid 10-pin, the last effort on lane 34, so I think he's got a pretty good feel for this lane now.
Yeah, it's a big shot right here, Dan. It's a key point in this match.
All right. Well, this gentleman is accustomed to throwing strikes, especially here. I mentioned he had back-to-back 300s, and I talked to him about it.
Well, the first
Communication is not crucial to our business. It is our business.
I have a pet peeve about people who don't return phone calls. So if you don't hear from me, you can rest assured I'm probably dead.
Century 21, rated best at selling homes.
After 26 years of pitching in the majors, I've learned to take care of myself. Like now, when my muscles feel sore, I take Advil. To last as long as I have, you got to stick with what works.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
In your quest to master the perfect bowling score, Columbia introduces the new Power Torque. It's beyond reactive. Columbia bowls the world over.
Done.
Where was I?
I don't know. Where were we?
Remember. I hope we got those two out. We went to an unscheduled break there. It was Butch Soper and Jack Jurek, the two PBA players to make the championship round in their first ever appearance.
Well, I want to ask you the real trivia question. Butch Soper finished second in that tournament in Arcadia. And can you tell me who won the match?
Pardon me?
Can you tell me who won the tournament?
No, I was busy listening to our producer. Who did?
Bill Beach.
Okay.
That was his only PBA victory, although he won an ABC Masters too.
And of course, don't forget, next week we'll be heading down to Paula Carter's Pro Bowl in Homestead, Florida. And the telecast will be scheduled for Saturday afternoon. Absolutely incredible what they have accomplished down there since last August 24th. Of course, the bowling center was finished at that point in time, and then after the 24th was no longer standing.
Right.
Went right to work as soon as possible. An absolute incredible amount of work, and the center is back up, and they're ready and raring for a PBA event.
So we'll be there.
You're doggone right we will. What a testament. Persistence pays off without question. Looking forward to seeing my good friends.
Hi. Ooh, big trouble right here. He just lost the lead with that one, Dan. 6, basically 8 out is going to put him in the 190s. Below the 195 that Mr. Davis is bowling right now. He thought it was going to be there, playing this lane to be tighter, and it's starting to break down a little bit. And 7 out. Boy, that hurts him. That cost him 2 pins. He just lost all his count in that one frame. He's trailing this match by 5 pins right now.
First game, high scores, 249 to 246. Things have settled down a bit here. Bob Vespi next in line in our top seed. Who else but Walter Ray Williams Jr.?
Is that automatic every week? He's seated there?
Thus far. Another half hit and another 10 pin on the right-hand lane.
On the right-hand lane. Now that's his third 10 pin. He's made 1 out of 2. Shaking that head again now. Going to use the same ball that he used for the strike ball. What he tries to do is flatten the wrist out, throw it hard and straight. See, the thing in practice, he missed a couple on the right, so he's afraid to let it to the right. He wants to just throw hard at it.
Stuck, but got the job done. Applauds his own effort. Let me ask you this, Mike. You were one of the outstanding spare shooters throughout your career on the national tour. What did you do to work hard on shooting the 10 pin?
Same thing, basic thing that he's doing, you know, hard and straight, right at it.
Did you used to practice with a full rack and try and pick off?
Oh, sure.
10, or?
Absolutely.
Did you ever go through a streak where you missed quite a few?
Yeah, I missed one in the PBA National Tournament. It was very expensive.
Best way to make the 10 is not to leave it.
Yeah, I always went by that philosophy. It didn't work real well, but... Well, Traber's got to get his act back together right now. Trailing by 4 pins, 8th frame. Again, it's coming down to the crucial frames.
And whoever performs down the stretch on the PBA Tour normally advances up the step ladder.
Dave, very serious individual. He thinks he's bowling intently.
Fights out the 10 on the right-hand lane, so mission accomplished in the 8th frame. Now it's time for a double in the 9th.
Well, this is the key shot of the week coming up right now for David Traber. He wants to continue on and go on to the next match and have an opportunity to win his first title, whatever. He's got to strike right now.
Last effort on lane 33 turned out to be the big 4.
Right. Can't see his feet from here, so I don't know if he's moving a board left, but that's what I would think that he would do.
More loft, more speed, and a much better result. A fierce reaction to that shot.
Well, you know, he's just very aggressive on that shot. He didn't worry about throwing it too hard. He fired it right up there and got the good reaction. This kid is firing out what it's like in the championship round right away and see how he responds.
Still looks pretty cool to me.
He looks very cool.
Leaving the 10 pin.
Not this time.
Sawed it right out of there, Mike Durbin.
I tell you what, he's got a very professional demeanor about him all the way through. Watch it. It hits about board 16. You know, not absolutely dead flush. The 6-pin still goes to the side, comes off that sideboard, and the neck of it gets the 10. That gave him the lead by 4.
Off the sheet for a possible 224. A couple of strikes and count, and he shuts Traber out.
Oh, the solid 10. He thought it was there. It was there. It just didn't carry. Gave it the room. Watch the 6-pin. Second from the right. 3-pin hits it. Just by a whisker.
Ball
missed
took
it.
that 3-pin straight back. Did you see that?
I missed that.
Powerful shot. More relaxed effort at the 10, but with a strike here, a game of 203.
Well, it's up to Traber. He's got to have the first one in the 10th to win the match.
Davis eyes the scoreboard, realizes where he stands at this point in time. Well, if there is good news for Dave Traber, he'll be on the right-hand lane.
Right. Although Brian does need 7 on this ball. 7 or better. It's enough. Not what he wanted, but it's enough. 201. It's enough to make David Traber strike here.
Same pre-shot routine. Just go up and execute.
That's what he's telling himself. Again, his tendency under pressure is to throw it harder.
Up the track.
Oh, he did throw it harder and left the solid 10. Ironic that in the last match, his opponent needed the strike and left the solid tap. And this time he needs the strike. Not a solid 8, but it's still a solid tap, the 10.
Disappointment, disgust after an outstanding shot.
And you go back to that 7th frame, Dan, that he wasted 2 pins by getting 7 out rather than 8 out. Rooting it on and says, oh no, but he would have 2 more pins at this point if he'd have made the 4-7 instead of just getting 1. Could have struck right here to have a tie match.
You and I talk about it so often. Count early in a match doesn't seem like much. We're a little frustrating at times. You kind of just get up and throw it, but when you come down to the 10th frame, you need a stick or 2. You'd like to have them on hand. Nice performance by Dave Traber. Another outstanding match. Final score, 201-198. The youngster from Castleberry, Florida, will advance to take on Bob Vespi, and our Mike Durbin will chat with our top seed, Walter Ray, when we come back.
Girls, head on over to Hennigan's for a fun time. Fine dining in a casual atmosphere. Whether it's the whole gang or an intimate dinner with that someone special, Hennigan's is the place. On Tuesdays, get a dozen wings for 99 cents. Thursdays are Schwing nights with 1 pound of shrimp and 2 dozen wings for $7.95. And get prime rib every Friday and Saturday night for only $11.95. There's even a light menu for those who are watching their weight. So come join the fun and your friends at Hennigan's.
This Labor Day weekend, come browse and shop the Longs Park Art and Craft Festival. 4 full days, Friday through Monday from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. 185 juried artists and craftspeople from across the country will be in Lancaster's beautiful Longs Park, displaying and selling their fine work. You can enjoy live music all weekend long and sample foods from the gourmet restaurant fair. The Longs Park Labor Day Weekend Art and Craft Festival, just off the Route 30 bypass at the Harrisburg Pike exit. Don't miss it. Listen to WROZ The Rose to win free tickets to the show.
201, 198. Brian Davis edging Dave Traber, who left a solid 10-pin in the 10th frame. Terrific match. Traber had defeated Steve Hoskins in the opening game, 249 to 246, so he ends up in 4th place. Don't forget, next week, the PBA Tour wraps up the summer tour down at Paula Carter's Pro Bowl in Homestead, Florida. All the action begins at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, Saturday, August 28th. And it'll give me a chance to watch and talk with Don Carter and Paula. And, of course, they've done a marvelous job down there in Homestead, getting ready for the PBA Tour. Don't forget, as soon as we're done here tonight in Mechanicsburg, it's top-ranked boxing. Cruiserweight action, 10 rounds. Orland Norris and Timber Jack Basting. A bunch of 300s this week, 20 to be exact. A record 2,300 games. And let's take a look at the folks who rolled them this week. All right, let's take a look and chronicle the year that Walter Ray Williams Jr. is having. Unbelievable what he has been able to accomplish in 26 tournaments. Of course, Mark Roth with the record 8 victories, 26 cashes, 15 top 5s. And obviously the money is a lot different because Mark did that in 78 and Walter Ray has accomplished it in 93. Walter Ray standing by now with our Mike Durbin.
Thank you very much, Denny. Walter, this is getting to be a weekly habit. You're just here every week.
Well, not every week, but I'm enjoying this definitely.
Okay, you set a record this week. The old record was 3 300s in a tournament. A lot of guys did that. You got 4. Tell us about it, especially the last one when you set the record.
Well, the last one was actually kind of interesting because I was hitting light in the pocket a lot, and I got in the 10th frame. I really wasn't even comfortable with where I was throwing the ball, and I had to make another adjustment with my feet in the 10th frame, and fortunately I made 3 good shots, and they all fell.
Okay. A few weeks ago, or maybe earlier in the year, thinking about Mark Roth's 8 titles and Mike Alby's 298,000 seemed out of sight. Suddenly now, if you win tonight, it's 7 victories, 250,000. Are you thinking about that at all?
I'm not really thinking about it while I'm bowling, but in between the bowling rounds, I think about it a little bit, but it's still a long way to go, and I just have to keep bowling as well as I can.
You know, in the past, I've talked to you, and, you know, you love horseshoes, and we all know that, and you've always told me that you always liked horseshoes better, but bowling paid better. Is it getting to where now bowling is just as much fun?
Well, bowling's been fun, but horseshoes is something I did is first, and it's my first love, and even though I really love bowling, I love horseshoes probably just a little touch more, even though there's no money in it, and, you know, but I'm definitely paying some bills this year.
Okay, he's hoping to pay a few more bills. In our next match, we're going to see if the young Brian Davis can beat the defending champion here, Bob Vespi. We'll be back right after these messages.
Football fans, the heart-pounding action of the NFL season is right around the corner.
Football already? Kidding me. Let's go.
Soon, Sundays will be filled with tackles and touchdowns.
What?
Why act surprised when sports Sports Illustrated is offering an amazing football package. It kicks off with our exclusive new video, Inside Football 93, a fast-paced review of 92, and a preview of the upcoming season. Your video's free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated, the best way to get into the action for more than 24 million readers every week. With Sports Illustrated's action-packed video, you'll really get into the game. Wow! Kind of makes you want to hit somebody. And here SI's views on who's going to go all the way.
I like San Francisco to be the best team in football this year.
Yes. Call now, and we'll also give you the NFL video yearbook of your favorite team, free with your paid subscription. Pick any one of the 2018 videos. It's your choice. Raiders. Giants. And it's a free choice for an inside look at your favorite team.
You'll see QBs, TDs, and LTs.
It's a great football package. Your 2 free videos, plus 54 issues of Sports Illustrated, including the 2 big football previews for only $1.39 an issue. Save over 52% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card.
That's a big play.
With Sports Illustrated, you'll really get into the NFL. From the preseason to the Super Bowl, you'll have football covered in 93.
93. Gonna be our year.
Call now and get ready for football with Sports Illustrated and your 2 free videos, Inside Football 93 and the team video of your choice.
We're ready.
Nobody's into sports like Sports Illustrated.
Get into it.
The sizzling duo of Mansell and Mario is hot for the championship. Next stop, a 4-mile road course with high-speed turns. The Texaco Havoline 200. Sunday afternoon live on ESPN.
We now move into the semifinal match. Defending champion Bob Vespi takes on newcomer Brian Davis.
Very cool. We watched him in the break door go over and get a drink of water, and his hand was just as steady as could be.
Those young nerves.
Boy, my young nerves weren't that way. So my old nerves weren't that way either. So
see if his arm swing loosens up here in the semifinal. Good shot. No messenger, and the 10-pin stands on lane 33.
He left, what, 4 10-pins in that last match. He starts right off the same place.
Thing I always look at, though, is when the heat's on, when you have to have the hit, does it stand? Boy, we've had 2 classic matches, 2 great shots by players in the 10th frame, a solid 8 and a solid 10. That's eliminated Steve Hoskins and Dave Traber. I guess if there's any consolation in their minds, at least they knew they went up and threw great shots. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. I mean, you tell yourself that, but you're still thinking what could have been. And here's Mr. Hook.
Vespi opens up with a strike. You made an interesting observation about his game and approach.
As you see that he's got a black shoe and a white shoe, only because he thinks he can slide better with the white one. Holds the ball right about waist high. It's a 5-step player. Near the back of the approach. Watch how short his backswing is. As he gets right back here, the elbow is bent right here. Really no backswing at all. He goes right into the power step. Right here, there's the slide, and the wrist rolls through with a big hook. Didn't work too well on lane 33, but he made the spare.
All right, now, I mentioned my good friend Don Carter, who we'll see next week down at Homestead. He didn't have much of a backswing.
And
did Don used to hook it like that?
No. Nope.
Only kidding, Don.
Was the master of keeping it in the track.
He didn't have to hook it, see? That's why he didn't.
Well, it wasn't the game then.
Sure. Little straighter. I wonder if there's a line change here by Mr. Davis.
No, I think that he just got it in the oil, and that's why we've had a lot of big high scores this week, because you can...
Well, why hasn't he been in there the better part of the game? Of game number 1. He tried to circle it the first game.
Well, he has
kept leaving the solid 10.
Well, maybe he has tightened it up. I think we're going to see a few more circle to the right, too.
All right.
like that one.
All of a sudden, it's a double. And Davis has the early lead.
Certainly not intimidated, is it? Well, he didn't like that one
at all. Boy, I guess not. Trying to tell himself to stay down and slow down. Left the dinner bucket on 34, and he was turned around before the ball got to the arrows.
Boy, that ball quit and rolled out and just never had a chance. Playing with that hand, you know, he's just saying that you know, he didn't get the thumb out, didn't get the wrist through the ball. See if he hooks it at this or goes straight. He's going to hook it. Boy, he made it.
Beautiful shot. I had a chance to talk to Bob and asked him how tough it is to come back and try and defend the title, and this was his response.
Well, I've had a lot of luck in the summer once again. You know, I won last year in Tucson for my first title, and then 2 months later followed up with here in Harrisburg. But and this year I made the show both times this summer in Tucson and Harrisburg. So, yeah, you know, the confidence that I feel when I come into a center I've already won at, it just kind of boosts me along during the tournament. And the fans here were great all week, and the house and the employees were great. And when you feel like you're at home, you bowl better.
Aaron shot in the third, but a comebacker in the fourth.
Again, it's in the execution with Bob. Getting that wrist through the ball, that unique release that he has. Brian up by 14.
And looking to make a little more room. And
notice how he swung that one out and came back.
So what you're telling me is the strike in the second was a bit of a tug.
That's my opinion. Struck, though. 24 pins ahead.
Well, you don't have 2,300 games without some area. Come on, let's be honest about this.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
I mean, we're talking about an arrow or so.
Well, not necessarily. I mean,
No?
Traber and Walter Ray are not aiming at arrows.
No.
Right now, he's just aiming at the 1-3.
And he's hitting it.
Yes, with authority. Vespi has got to strike here, Den, or he's just going to be so far behind in this match he won't be able to catch up.
Got it inside. And it hit beautifully. Vespi trying to coax himself to take this thing to another level. He's going to have to come from behind.
And Bob does talk to himself. He's a very animated player. That's his dad looking up. You know, I know I'm in trouble when the fathers are younger than I am.
I hate to tell you, Mike, it's over. Just ride it out from here on out.
Oh, he runs it out, never even saw it. Did you see that?
Sure. Trying to send a signal to Brian Davis. But Davis is doing nothing but striking. It's a strike fest here in Mechanicsburg. We'll come back with a few more X's right after this timeout.
So I'm thinking shrimp, where do I go? Long John Silver's a voice tells me so. I look for the sign, that voice never lies. For $1.99 I got fish, shrimp, and fries. So if you love shrimp, you gotta go fish. At Long John Silver's, you're gonna get your wish.
Athlete's Foot. Every year, over 28 million Americans get it. Try NP27. Its doctor-recommended ingredient stops burning and itching fast. NP27. Nothing's a better cure for athlete's foot.
Leading by 14 in the sixth and on a four-bagger.
Well, let's see if that intimidation tactic by Vespi works on Mr. Davis.
Ten pin.
A little rollout shot. Well, he keeps every ball in play, doesn't he?
I like that part of his game.
Here appears to be the weakness. He appears to be more afraid of the 10 pin than he is all 10 pins.
3 for 4 tonight?
Yeah, but some of the others have been shaky. He was shaky that first one in the first frame of this game.
Right on.
Just drops it right in there, doesn't it?
Drop it in the slot.
Well, what's the difference now? 13 pins. It's got to come right back and get something to work on. We see the scoreboard. Vespi working on 3, and we know that when he starts striking, sometimes he never stops.
Won that one early. And didn't get away with it.
Yeah, you see him playing with his hand there, and then he looks at his thumb.
While we've got a moment, Gina and Gary Bauer, of course, part owners here at ABC West, want to say hi to Ashley, Sherry, and Chuck in Castle Rock, Colorado. Best wishes for a speedy recovery from a quadruple bypass. And, of course, they're talking about PBA member Jim Tomic.
Yeah, he pulled on the senior tour.
Relax a little bit, James. Enjoy the action. And get well, too.
Couple big frames coming up here from Vespi, trailing by 12 pins. One more cuts it to 2. Puts him in a position then to take the lead, so we'll see. Very little time once he gets up there. Woo! Boy, he lifted that with his whole body.
Fingers deluxe.
Just popped him that time. 2 pins.
This one to grab the lead.
Watch Bob on this shot. See the ball spinning as it turns back into the 1-3 pocket. An explosion into the pin of all 10 pins. This for the lead.
A lot of top roll and a carry of the 10. Vespi starting to get loosened up.
A little smack of the hands right into his face there. Did you see that? Watch the 6-pin. Another board 16 strike right there. And take that, Brian. Let's see what Brian does.
Got a comebacker of his own. Right flush in the pocket in the 8th. Now he'll try and set things up in the 9th frame. He has room for 258.
He's got to strike here, Denny. Absolutely must strike. Would be 258 to 266 if they both take it out. This to regain the lead.
Needs it badly. Got it way outside. Tripped out the 2-pin, and oh, what a break for Brian Davis.
Just got quick on that one all the way through, especially at the top of the swing coming down. Just didn't wait there. But what a break. The head pin goes to the wall, comes back off, and it was the 5-pin looked like came forward and got the 2.
Vespi trying to lock in again. Oh, he's just hammering the pocket.
Well, it's back and forth. That puts him back in the lead by 8 pins. 2 strikes in the 10th, and he locks out Ryan. But we were here before. Every match come right down. Oh, he takes no time, you know?
A man that knows what he wants to do. Oh, he thought the 6 was going to slap out the 10, and it didn't quite happen.
Okay. Same thing that happened with Brian last time. Traber was unable to answer. Now the shoe flips back to Brian Davis at the 10-pin. Almost missed that when he went so fast.
Vespi in rapid fire fashion, if he strikes here, would post 245. And he does.
So Brian Davis needs a strike, 8, and a spare
to advance against Walter Ray. The nemesis tonight on the right-hand lane, the 10-pin for Mr. Davis.
It's interesting. We've had two quality players need strikes to win the matches in the first two, an 8-pin and a 10-pin, and now we got a rookie.
Who needs a strike?
Oh, the rookie comes through against the defending champion. Needs 8 to spare then. It's not over yet. We can have a tie. We can have a number of things. So.
Methodically has thrown 3 in a row in the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th.
You wouldn't mind the 10th right there, Ben.
Plenty of room.
Oh, that's impressive.
It's been a dream week for Brian Davis, and now the dream of bowling for his first PBA title is in the forefront.
How ironic would it be if the king of bowling this year got knocked off by a guy who hadn't even bowled a tournament before?
Only one player in the history of the PBA has won his first PBA event. 1965. A lefty from out your way.
Yes,
Mike McGrath. All right, Davis strikes out, finishes big, shoots .258, and defeats defending champion Bob Vespi. When we come back, championship frame, and after that, Walter Ray will look for number 7.
Come on, let's get a cold one.
Our total attendance for today's game.
Oh, would you look at this beer line? I'm going to go back. What? Foul ball? No, I'm not. Foul ball! Foul ball! Out the way! I got it!
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
Make it 2 Bud Lights, please.
make it a Bud Light.
Hey, you got another ball?
You say your eyes are red, irritated, dry? Don't hide them. Help them with Clear Eyes. It gets rid of the redness and has an extra moisturizing ingredient, too. Clear Eyes. And for allergies and colds, Clear Eyes ACR.
Light. It is the first element of creation. Nothing brings it more elegantly or shapes it more beautifully than Andersen windows and patio doors. Come, live in the light of Andersen windows. Come home to Andersen.
While you weren't looking, something magical happened. The durability of an oil-based enamel and the easy cleanup of a latex came together. Hard to believe? Try it and see. New Duratex Colors enamels from Red Devil for the finish of a lifetime.
Wow. Wow.
Championship frame is brought to you by Midas. Midas, the way it should be.
And in match 1, Steve Hoskins needed that first strike in the 10th frame to move on to beat David Traber. He couldn't have thrown it any better as it wound up flush in the 1-3, but the 8-pin didn't agree. He can't believe it as he looks at it, grabs his head and says, why now?
Heartbreak for Hoskins. A perfect shot. He loses 249, 246. It doesn't get much tougher than that unless you look at match number 2. And this time it was Dave Traber. And this was in the 10th frame.
And things have a way of evening out so quickly on the PBA Tour. Traber needs this strike to move on. And the 10-pin doesn't cooperate. He's running it out and says,
Professionally.
So, Brian Davis moved on, 201 to 198.
And then it was into match number 3. And this was a serious shot in the 10th frame.
Brian Davis is one cool young man, 21 years old, needs this strike to defeat the defending champion. Nothing timid about this one. All 10 in the pit, and he moves on.
Fabulous shot by Brian Davis.
His reaction, very calm. Well, it's supposed to go down. Yeah.
When you're 21, they all go down. 258, 245, and a brilliant performance by Brian Davis. All right, waiting now for Walter Ray Williams Jr. and the start of a title match. And let's take a look at our other finishers this week. From ABC West Lanes in Mechanicsburg, Dave D'Entremont was 6th, and Ron Williams was 7th.
And in 8th position, as we get to it here.
There it is.
Eric Williams, and of course Bob Benoit, another guy who can hook that ball.
I'll tell you what, the Williams boys were all over the place this week as Mark finished 11th.
And Steve Wilson, Curtis Odom in the 13th spot.
Elsewhere down in the finals, Bob Learn Jr., Mr. 300, along with Eugene McHugh.
We had a 300 this week. In fact, a couple of them, I think. Jim Johnson and Steve Myers in that 17th spot.
18th position, George Branham III, and Don Moser was 19th.
And the 20th, Tommy DeLutz. Doug Kent, former Masters champion, in the 21st spot.
As we round out the top 24, Billy Oaks 22nd, and Andrew Nauer was 23rd.
And Eric Forkel, that's the alternate, Rich Dodge from Virginia.
All right, when we come back to Mechanicsburg, Walter Ray Williams Jr. will look for his 2nd consecutive victory, his 7th of the season, to join the great one, Earl Anthony, as the only 2 7-time winners on the national tour.
Dear Midas, my brakes were making a terrible squeaky noise. I brought my car to your competitor, and without any inspection, he said, "You need new brakes." Then I went to Midas. Your manager...
Hi, I'm Tom Kirshner.
...had a thorough inspection done and said,
"You don't need new brakes. The squeaking noise is caused by brake dust."
Such honesty is refreshing in the time of auto repair ripoffs. Yours truly, Frank J. Rutter.
After 26 years of pitching in the majors, I've learned to take care of myself. Like now, when my muscles feel sore, I take Advil. To last as long as I have, you got to stick with what works.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
No matter what the car, you need an oil you can count on and a price you can bank on every day.
At Walmart, we're here to help you with both.
With Quaker State Motor Oil. For easy starts in the widest temperature range, choose Quaker State Synquest. It's one tough motor oil.
And at Walmart, you'll always save on what you put into your car.
No matter when you drop in. Walmart. Always the low price. Always.
I'll see you later. Bye. Hi.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
I live here, remember?
Oh, I thought you were working late.
Gave myself a night off.
Oh. We'll go out. I'll change.
Let's stay home. I'll change.
Only Blockbuster has so many movies, so many ways to make your night off a Blockbuster night.
Did I hear the phone?
Phone?
So pick up a movie from Blockbuster and make it a Blockbuster night.
The boys and their toys are ready to make some noise. The lightning speed of Saturday Night Thunder will make you dizzy. Live USAC Midgets and Sprints Saturday on ESPN.
Some serious numbers posted this week in Mechanicsburg.
Yeah, those averages are up there. Well, 2,300 games. Between these two guys that are bowling for the title, we had 6 300 games. So
that's incredible. Walter Ray comes out, striking. What else?
Well, I think he's going to have to. This kid doesn't seem intimidated by anybody.
We mentioned this in the break. You and I talked about it. Hey, the other 3, you're out there playing. You're in the championship round. This one is for a title. There is a difference.
And you're bowling the man who's unbeatable this year. Everybody's afraid of him.
Except for Brian Davis.
Yeah, right. Well, he says, Walter who? Mike McGrath's watching out there in California.
Sure he is. He's constantly critiquing you. Pretty much leaves me alone.
Burn early lead.
Bang. Woo. So much for the pressure of the title match.
Reminds me of Mike Albee when he bowled in. When was it out in Las Vegas? What year was that? Do you remember? When he won the PBA national title and beat Earl Anthony and a number of others.
80 or 81. I was out there working then. Ah, Darrell and Jack.
Father and son.
Darrell Bauer's thrown a few 300 games in his career.
And won a few PBA titles.
Walderay up the track. Smash hit on lane 34. Take that, he says. I'm right here, Rook.
Yeah, well, you know, his last 9 games on television he has won, and he's averaged 252 for those 9 games. His opponents, I think, have averaged 219. So, a double doesn't scare him.
Calm, cool, dressed in blue.
Confident. Confident. Supremely confident.
Loose. Very loose. Bone-crushing strike on lane 33. And what you're looking at right now is a man on a mission.
This is a young man on another mission. Get his first title. This means so much to him. Spot in the General Tire Tournament of Champions. His name going in black on the board. Exemption from any rabbit.
Champions banner.
Oh, both of them.
And both with solid 7s that leave at the last moment. 6 shots, 6 strikes.
In this one, you watch your 2-pin, third from the left. It's going to go up over the top of that 7. It never hit it. The 4-pin hit it. Did you see that? It never hit the 7.
By a whisker. All even after 3.
Well, I'll tell you what, this young man's very, very impressive.
Had 9 strikes in the semifinal game victory over defending champion Bob Vespi. Walderay back to even things up.
When Walderay stands all the way to the back like that, he's going for max speed.
Up the track, Thrill City.
See, that's what he told me he did all week long. I said, would you throw that hard all week? He said, sometimes I throw a little harder. .62, 180. Magic 33. No regional titles, Ben, just national titles. That keeps me busy enough.
He's got his hands full here tonight. A little wide. Oh, came over and didn't quite touch the 10.
It's been missing all week for these guys, Dan.
Walderay will have to settle for 9 spare in the 5th.
Watch the head pin. Goes flying to the left, comes off the sideboard, and turned the wrong way. Turned with the butt coming out. Bing.
His lovely fiance, a bit stoic at this point in time.
Well, she's gotten used to watching him win every week.
You're right. Paige is probably saying, I know Walter. He'll figure out something in the end here to get this job done.
A lot of hooks.
Didn't look like his best effort, but the result was pretty nice.
All I know is he's perfect through 5, Dan. Having a little stutter step there. Over about the 3rd arrow, out to maybe the 5th board. And the 6 just nudges out the 10. Another board 16 strike. Boy, this is taking 21 pin lead right here. Commanding.
Plenty of roll. Oh! 6 bagger for Brian Davis, who was trying to unseat the top seed, Walter Ray Williams Jr. 20,000 for first. If you're one of these two guys, you don't even want to think about second.
Not at this point in time.
Walter Ray up and at him. Power shot, needs to trip the 4 and doesn't. So a couple of pocket hits result in a 10-pin and a 4-pin.
Just throws him 1 pin further behind at this point in the match. 22 pins behind.
Down by 22, but certainly not out of this match.
No, but it's getting to where if you can do it with a pencil, you can do it with a bowling ball. He's got to set himself up to keep striking. Brian Davis shows no signs of slowing down.
Oh, great shot there. A little extra look. A leer at lane 33. And Brian Davis, on the strength of a 6-bagger, leads by 22.
Time in this frame,
inside the target, and an explosive strike on lane 34. I had a chance to talk to Brian and asked him, what about your strategy? What about getting to the title match? Do you think you can win?
Oh, I'm very satisfied just to get this far, and now I'm just going to take it one step at a time. If I do it, that's great. If not, I gave it my best shot, and I'm having a great time right now.
That's an understatement. 7-bagger. A lot of room. Looking for number 8. He's got it. That's actually 13 strikes in a row if you count the 5-bagger to end the semifinal.
The match is not over, though, yet, Dan. This man is a quality player, as everyone knows. He must strike here, though. Walter Ray's got to strike. All right, keeps him alive. Has to set up the 10th frame. If he strikes here, even if Brian Davis strikes in the 9th frame, it's not over. He'd have to have a mark in the 10th.
This, to me, is what commands so much respect in terms of the top seeds. The guy leads all week long, has to come back and win again, and look what's happened. Whew. Tough on you. Walter Ray trying to fight back.
Oh,
ball on the left hand lane and a strike in the ninth.
Well, I tell you what better scene can we have here? Brian Davis steps up in the 9th frame, and there's a lot of money staring at him right now in these next 2 frames.
For 300, 10,000 from the PBA, $100,000 from Brunswick Corporation.
For using the ball and the shirt combination, plus title, Tournament of Champions, everything.
130,000 to be exact. He's got 9 in a row, and the youngster from Castleberry, Florida, right now will step up in the 10th with a shot to make some serious cash.
I'll tell you what, Danny, I've been hearing so much lately about this fantasy football league and everything. Right now, Brian Davis is entering into fantasy bowling world. Won the tournament, Denny.
His first PBA victory. Looks up to the heavens, realizes that that's already accomplished. Now what he's thinking about are some serious numbers.
Very serious numbers.
All Walter Ray can think about was a terrific week, a great performance, and what he is watching right now, another great performance. down, Mr. Durbin, and fasten your seatbelt. This shot for $130,000 in his first ever appearance in the championship round.
I'll tell you what, his heart has to be going so fast. This crowd is so alive. Let's watch and see.
Oh, not the two-pin. What a performance by Brian Davis, who let $110,000 slip right through his fingertips.
Well, he's got the title. He's got the Tournament of Champions trip. Unbelievable.
What a sensational performance, overshadowing yet another brilliant performance by Walter Ray Williams, Jr. What do you do when a guy shoots .299? Pat him on the back and you head to next week.
You lose usually, doesn't
Oh, what a show. I tell you, I've watched a lot of them, about 350 now in my career on national television. Not too many more exciting than this finish here tonight. Wow.
And Walter, he bowled above his .252 average.
When we come back, we'll wrap things up from ABC West Lanes. Brian Davis shooting .299 and capturing his first ever PBA title.
A record-breaking year at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. So how should we bring it to a close? With a record-breaking clearance. Enjoy a selection of Concord's Automobile Magazine's Automobile of the Year and remarkable savings on all these 93 cars and minivans, like roomy Plymouth Voyager. Save thousands. Save up to $1,900 on the sporty Plymouth Duster and up to $1,325 on the luxurious LeBaron convertible. The record-breaking clearance now at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Customer satisfaction first. Brubaker Chrysler Plymouth. Car buying the way you want it to be. Car buying the way it should be. Brubaker Chrysler Plymouth.
ESPN's NFL 12th Man Contest, and you get to sit right here for all your favorite teams' away games. Great seats for you and 3 of your buddies. And the 12th man flies first class to all 8 away games, stays in team hotels, and gets $25,000. And this guy up here, he's the 57,460th man. He gets Ice Train. ESPN's NFL 12th Man Contest, sponsored by McDonald's and Lee Jeans. Enter to win. Call 1-900-2884-NFL. 95 cents per call, no phone call necessary. Enter now.
The championship round finals of the Greater Harrisburg Open are being brought to you by Blockbuster Video. Only Blockbuster Video gives you so many movies, so many ways to make every night a Blockbuster night. Brian Davis receiving the cheers from the crowd. Overflow crowds all week long. A sensational performance. First ever time on national television. He shoots .299. And there to present both check and trophy, Jim Shelley, the tournament chairman, and also Gary Bauer, the president of ABC Lanes Incorporated. He is truly the champion of this year's event.
Standing right here as he lets it go, kind of just gets it off his hand, and the ball never bit the lane. It got back to the head pin. A lot of pins standing. They dance around and fall down. The 2 pin only remains standing. That, between that and another $110,000, his reaction, but
Came off his hand clean, but just wasn't quite in the pocket. What a way that would have been to finish things off. All right, so long, everybody, from Mechanicsburg. Next week, of